A battery recycling facility near Glasgow in Scotland has just blown up for the second time in 12 months. Toxic carcinogenic chemicals including hydrofluoric acid, hydrogen cyanide, heavy metal compounds including cobalt oxide, manganese oxide and nickel oxide, plus phosphorous, oxyfluoride, formaldehyde and acrolein have rained down over nearby dwellings, and the plume of contamination widens. Regulators and politicians at every level are very disappointed, very. Lots of hand-wringing going on there in front of the cameras. The company that owns the facility, Fenix, wants you to know that it takes public safety very seriously indeed, very. And of course the Easter Bunny, he might be real also. In other news, thankfully we're still on track for net zero. Let us not let, minor details get in the way of any of that. I'm John Cadogan, motoexpert.com.au. New cars cheap, but Australia only. Website, card. Apparently it's quite okay in the UK to put unstable, toxic battery waste in barrels, virtually right next to people's homes. What could possibly go wrong? Lithium-ion batteries do go off like Somalia on October the 3rd, 1993, don't they? And the fallout is kind of interesting too, being littered all around people's homes like that. And of course, the modern human, Homo sapiens 2025, always with his priorities straight. Why run for your life when a gust of wind might envelop you in 20 different carcinogens at any moment when you can live stream to YouTube or Facebook? Hashtag priorities. This report is sponsored by NordVPN. Get big savings plus 4 extra months of Nord for free right now in Nord's exclusive birthday deal. Go to nordvpn.com/AEJC. Online security threats are everywhere, but you do not have to be the next victim. That's where NordVPN comes in, locking everything down efficiently in the background. Go to nordvpn.com/AEJC now. Every 2-year NordVPN plan receives that huge discount, plus a coupon that entitles you to 6 free months, which you can use to extend your subscription, or you can even give it to a friend. nordvpn.com/AEJC. Link in the description. Using NordVPN is easy. Just subscribe, download the app and connect. 1 click later, your IP address is shielded and your traffic will be encrypted across as many as 6 of your devices. Nord is the fastest VPN on the planet. It costs only about as much as 1 cup of coffee every month to keep your data, your identity and your devices secure. Masking your location means you'll be able to access streaming and other services that might be blocked where you live. Plus, you can continue to watch your favourite content when you travel. Go to nordvpn.com/AEJC now. Boost your security, get that huge discount and enjoy those extra months completely free. It's all totally risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. It's easy to stay safe online. Just visit nordvpn.com/AEJC now. Okay, so let's get a few things straight, shall we? It is more or less absurd to put these sorts of facilities close to people's homes or farmland or waterways. I think we might all agree on that. Also, this particular battery recycling joint in North Ayrshire already caught fire once, a year ago, almost to the day. For 2 days. Regulatory softcocks in the UK revoked the company's waste management licence, but also gave them until June to clear things out, inexplicably. So apparently, Fenix battery recycling shitheads had between 50 and 60 barrels of batteries just sitting around at its basically decommissioned and non-compliant recycling site for a fucking year, all stacked up neatly on top of one another. We could probably also agree that 60 times 200 litres of discarded batteries in various states of disrepair, call it, 12,000 litres of storage, would be about in the ballpark of 20 tonnes of infirm batteries. Yeah, about that. Stacking 20 tonnes of bulging, sweating, cracked, dropped, shorted, overheated, or otherwise unstable batteries right on top of each other, all in the one place. You decide, dude. Good idea or bad idea on the balance of probability. Of course, authorities had it all under control rather quickly. Firefighters turned up, stroked each other's hoses and watched the whole thing burn. Civilians were told to go inside, shut their windows and doors and, of course, breathe as little as possible and remain there until further notice. Like, dude, a cloud of hydrofluoric acid envelops every house in the street. You might have to miss lawn bowls that day, and no hanky-panky with Mrs. Jones over the road either. I have to take a rain check on that one, sadly. The local environment protection mob put on their Tyvek jumpsuits and got some water into some test tubes, reassuringly, and they offered the following words of comfort to locals. We appreciate that this matter will concern local residents and businesses, and we would urge everyone to follow the advice issued by public partners. What the actual fuck does that even mean? You weasels, public partners. This kind of response, okay, the official advice, shut your windows, hold your breath, and await further instructions, is emblematic of every conceivable upstream risk management failure. It just is. So many things have to go wrong before we get to this. The levels of indifference, incompetence, and ignorance required to get to that point where the hazmat is raining down all over and residential window shutting and breath holding is a priority really is outstanding. Failure to acknowledge or know the risks, failure to implement countermeasures, and failure to regulate at so many levels, from the planning to the execution and the decommissioning of this shitbox recycling plant, simply because battery recycling, net zero, shit yeah. Gotta save the planet, dude, no matter how many eggs we might break in the process. Hashtag worth it. This is a badly managed and in practice unregulated facility in the wrong place, storing too much dangerous material in an unsafe way with nobody minding the fucking shop. But apart from that, all good. I guarantee that if you jump in the Wayback Machine, you will easily find a lineup of shitheads whom you would absolutely never invite over to your place on Friday night to get somewhat drunk and dance with your sister, standing in front of some random fucking machinery in a shed for a photo opportunity, explaining exactly how they were overjoyed to hoover up a big fat stack of taxpayer net zero cash. And there they are, ready to accept a ton of public funds for dead batteries from lands as exotic as America for, let's call it, the treatment. 4 shitheads, personal opinion, overjoyed to the point of it being a medical emergency, metaphorically, engorged, metaphorically, and ready to catch £955,000 sterling, it's about $2 million Australia, from the official green horseshit Innovate UK Smart Grants Program. What a great name. Who thought of that? What a win for Fenix Recycling, Ever Resource, whatever the fuck they are, and the University of Birmingham. Have nearly £1 million on the British taxpayer to develop innovative, quote, separation technologies for end-of-life EV batteries. You go, girls. Breathtaking, isn't it? I mean, literally. Seeing that separation technology finally in action after all that money for the second time in 12 months. Putting those batteries in steel drums and waiting for chemistry to separate the living shit out of those materials, releasing those previously imprisoned elements back into the wild where they belong, raining down in the form of taxpayer-funded carcinogenic fallout all over nearby residents who obediently shut their windows and held their breath to the extent possible, as instructed. Net zero, dude. Shit, yeah. Honestly, what did these geniuses do with the remaining £900,000 of that grant? I do hope there were quite a few strippers in cakes on the way and the occasional Aston Martin, combustion one too, obviously, because if they actually spent it on battery recycling, education and technology as promised, what a waste. So that was about 20 tonnes of hazmat hilarity in Scotland, about the same as, 40 or 50 average EV batteries. For perspective, there's roughly 200,000 EVs on Australian roads right now. They're all going to wear out, and we're probably going to add another 80,000 sometime this year. And when they die, they'll all have to go somewhere. Hopefully not lying in wait in barrels in a warehouse right next to your kid's preschool. We've been sold a pathological lie about recycling EV batteries, right? The circular economy, the precious metals, being as one with Mother Nature. It's all bullshit. Nobody wants used lithium-ion batteries. They're inconvenient. They're Erin Brockovich, dude, only with lithium hexafluorophosphate, not hexavalent chromium. Different shit, same consequences, I would argue. If your dead lithium batteries were so fucking valuable, why are recyclers not queuing up over the frickin' horizon to buy your dead power tool batteries, your laptop batteries, your smartphone batteries, etc.? Most local councils in this neck o' the woods have e-waste depots to which you might drive and drop dead batteries off, which is what you're supposed to do. But a worrying number of people just can't be arsed with the inconvenience of doing that, so they just put them in the garbage instead. Hashtag understandable, I suppose. Life's already busy enough. This already causes fires in waste management and toxic waste in the environment, and this is really just the warm-up, right? Wait until flocks of dead EVs make it to the wreckers. According to the CSIRO, Australia generates 3.5 tonnes of lithium battery waste annually, ballpark, and that's increasing by 20% annually, and it's projected to be 136,000 tonnes. That's annually by 2036. That's almost 7,000 Scotland last week incidents, potentially. Not in total. It's every year, right? And it's going to go up geometrically. Powered by UK separation technology. Only 10% of lithium battery waste is actually recycled here, compared with, 99% is the official number for lead-acid batteries, which are actually valuable. Large volumes of the unrecycled lithium waste is currently, quote, stored in warehouses and scrapyards. And you've seen the consequences, right? That's not like totally chilling or anything, is it? I think we should centralise this waste. That might work. We could put it in some disused wasteland, cultural wasteland at least, something that serves no real purpose, deep in a concrete bunker underground. And we've already built it, dude. Might as well use it for something productive at last. Put a chimney up the top like a big Roman separation technology candle. I'd go and see that. Dude, there could easily be a little piece of Scottish separation technology lying in wait just up the road from you, in some warehouse rented from some unsuspecting landlord, full of dead batteries. Who doesn't want that? And how would you even know prior to, let's call it, separation? Just remember to stay inside, shut the windows and breath hold until you get the all clear from Chris Bowen, which I'm sure will be a great relief. In fact, let's go live now to the official environment ministerial thought bubble regarding battery custody, recycling technology mandates, industrial safety obligations and enforcement, separation technology, and public education regarding the risks and responsible disposal of old batteries. You can see he's on it as usual. What a relief. Like, dude, don't you worry about that. He's got it. In other words, electric utopia still on track. Thank God, thank Elon, thank Chris, the holy net zero trinity. From a practical point of view, one of the most environmentally aware things you might do if you look to buy an EV is just don't buy one with nickel, manganese, cobalt-based technology, also called NMC. Get lithium iron phosphate instead, which is sometimes called LFP. They're both lithium ion, ION, batteries, but different chemistry, the NMC and the LFP. NMC, bad. LFP, good-ish. See, apart from having essentially zero heavy metals inside, meaning no nickel, no manganese, no cobalt, oxide raining down on the community if a little piece of Scottish separation technology comes to town, there's also substantially less hydrofluoric acid in a fire, less carbon monoxide as well, fewer volatile organics, etc. with LFP if it burns. LFP is not clean when it burns. Like, I wouldn't be using it as an air freshener. But it is a shitload cleaner than NMC, and burning it is less likely too because the activation threshold for lithium iron phosphate thermal runaway is roughly, let's call it, 50 to 100 degrees C higher than for nickel, manganese, cobalt. How many EV owners even know what chemistry is in their batteries? How many was smart enough to ask before they bought their car? How would a salesman even know? Can you imagine that, going to a dealership and asking the average Hyundai, Kia, BMW, Mercedes-Benz salesman, what chemistry is the battery, NMC or LFP? They'd probably flip a coin and just pick one. For the record, if you'd like to know, Tesla uses NMC in the long-range and performance variants of the Model 3 and the Model Y. BMW and Mercedes, good old Satan's car maker, three-prong up there, they use NMC across the board. Basically, NMC is the bad one. Try to keep up, dude. BMW and Mercedes both using the shittest technology. Filthy bastards. So, the world's greatest automotive shithead, what do? The Volkswagen Group. NMC, dude. I mean, you knew that one off the bat, right? Hyundai and Kia, ditto. Mostly NMC, especially in the big, heavy EV shitters in the range. Ford, mostly NMC, but they are transitioning, and I hate that word, slowly to LFP. Shortly, they might identify as LFP across the board, who knows. Volvo and its deranged half-sister Polestar both use NMC, mainly. You go, girls. And so does GM, mostly. That's a lot of brands using mostly NMC technology, is it not? Brands using the better LFP include BYD. Tesla does it for the Model 3 rear-wheel drive and the Model Y rear-wheel drive, but only those particular variants. Dizygotic twins Hyundai and Kia use LFP for the base model shitters of Ioniq 5 and 6 and also the Kia EV6, but only in some markets. Go figure. Base shitters of the Volkswagen ID3, 4 and 7 are LFP, but only in China and a few other markets. Ford is introducing LFP in the standard range Mustang Mach-E and standard range F-150 Lightning, which nobody wants or buys statistically. And Toyota uses LFP on the BZ, the EV that only recently figured out how to keep its wheels on. Well done, biggest car maker on earth. Nice one. So basically, if you're an EV buyer and you want the safest battery technology with the fewest environmental catches, your list of viable options just got significantly shorter, didn't it? And you've got to ask yourself, do you want to be seen in your EV as a status symbol, or do you actually want to do some environmental good, given the total implications of ownership scenario? It's tough, isn't it? The image versus the reality. Meanwhile, I suppose, used NMC battery waste continues to accumulate, quite possibly closer to home than you think. But at least net zero is on track, dude. Remember to shut those windows and breath hold when Uncle Chris deems it necessary in electric utopia. It could happen at any time. He really does know best.